Hi, I'm Tori Purcell, and today I'm here with Steve Nemphos to talk to him about being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Hi, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So how do you remember Norristown?
I arrived in Norristown in 1947 with my father from Greece as a sophomore in high school. And the three things that I remember, a couple of things that I remember was the old high school, the Eisenhower High School, that I thought was very beautiful at the time because the schools I went to Greece were very old because of the war. And so that was and also the name Eisenhower, because General Eisenhower liberated basically Europe, and it was our idol in terms of American friendship and American help. So the other thing that I remember about Norristown, what created an impression on me, was the courthouse down on Sweet Street. And I happened to live actually across the street from the courthouse, and every day I would see that magnificent building that reminded me of the concept of freedom and justice. And so those couple of things are quite memorable that I've never forgotten.
That's really great. So what are you being honored for today?
I am a chemist, and I had the good fortune to work for a number of companies and work on a number of very interesting technical projects. I was fortunate to be in a position to write a number of technical articles and participate in articles in the encyclopedias and publish a couple of books. And I've received quite a few patents based on the work of my own work and my team's work in solving a lot of chemical problems, particularly in the plastics industry. When I was finishing my graduate work for a doctorate, the work back then in the 50s was plastics, young man, plastics. That's the field to go. So I went into it, and I've enjoyed that career tremendously. And I'm very fortunate. Now things have changed, and now are more the DNAs and the computers, and there's a lot of new technologies, but back then it was plastics.
So how did you react when you found out you were being inducted?
I was pleased, obviously. I felt honored, and I grabbed the opportunity to come and accept the award, and give me the opportunity to mention out loud how much I owe to this high school and the teachers from what they helped me to achieve, and how the seeds for chemistry and technology and science in general were put in my brain and helped formulate the direction of my career.
So how did you really start getting interested in the science field?
Primarily because of the teachers in the high school. My chemistry teacher, for example, was Mr. Wolf was his name. If I have occasion, I'll mention a couple of others also that were very important to me. I know they're all dead now, but I have to mention them because I'm sure they're looking down from the sky, and I owe them a lot. He was very fanatic about chemistry, and he was able to install love for science in general, particularly for chemistry, and based on that, I pursued that as a career.
So what is your current occupation?
Right now I'm retired, enjoying life with my wife Ann. We have, between us, we have 7 children, a baker's dozen grandchildren, and some great-grandchildren. And we are enjoying life in Massachusetts, but I have finished my career, and looking back at it, I feel very satisfied and happy for everything.
So how do you feel Norristown has changed since you went here?
I haven't had a chance to see very much of Norristown. It has changed a lot. For example, the high school is in a new area. We had to use the GPS this morning to find it. The old courthouse is still there. It's still it brings back pleasant memories. From what I read, and I have some relatives here, and I keep up with them a little bit. Most of them have gone. Norristown has changed a lot, but the town that we live in Massachusetts is similar in size, and it's similar. So the environment has not changed very much. I only lived 6 years in Norristown, the time for high school, and then 3 years in Arsinus. After that, I left, and I've never been back since.
Okay. So what was your most memorable moment when you went here?
As I said, seeing the high school from a distance and also from the inside, and that courthouse, the two most memorable sites of Norristown.
So can you share with us some people who have helped you get to where you are today?
My chemistry teacher was number one. Miss Christian, the principal, was the other very important person. From the first day that in February of 1947, that I walked into the high school and I met her, she took it upon herself to guide me more than any other teacher in the old country since then. And in fact, even though I don't know for sure, I'm convinced that she was responsible to a certain degree for my obtaining a scholarship at Arsinus, where I went for 3 years to get my degree. And I was a commuter, hitchhiking every day as a day student. And I think she had something to do with getting me a scholarship there for those 3 years. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to go to college.
That's really great. So what would you tell students about the importance of high school education?
My first wish is that they would have teachers as important and able and motivating as I had. I mentioned two. My English teacher was equally motivating, and Mr. Schaefer was his name. And he had a strong voice, and he loved to quote poems. "Hail to thee, blithe spirit," he would say. And his words still ring in my ears. I was going to be a poet for a while before I took up science.
So, is there anything you'd like to say to the current students here?
When I went to high school and college, what everybody would tell us was, "Plastics, young man, plastics." You've heard of the movie. Now I would say, "Computers, young man, electronics, DNA, biotechnology." Those are the fields for the 21st century, I think.
That's really great. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
It's been very pleasing for me and very rewarding to be back. I'm looking forward to this evening. And I've met a number of interesting, nice students at a couple of classes this morning already. And I'm proud of the high school that I went to. And I wish all these students to have as rewarding a career as I had.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
I'm Tori Purcell and is here with Steve Nemphos to talk about his Hall of Fame induction. Thanks.